Everyone, welcome to this session. So let's understand what are loops in JavaScript. Loops are something that allow you to repeat same task without writing the same code over and over again. So if you have any repetitive task, you can use loops. And these are the types of loops we have in JavaScript. Alright, so let's understand a problem first by taking an example. So I'm going to log a number. If you see on the console, we see the number. But if I have to log another number, I'll write it again. And then if I have to log another number, I will write it again. So you see, if I have to log numbers from 1 to 10, I have to write the same code 10 times, right? And if I have to log till 20, then I have to write the same line 20 times for each number, right? So to avoid such kind of conditions, we use loops. So let's start understanding all of these one by one. So I'll start with the for loop. So let's first check out the syntax. So the syntax is you need to write for, then you have to add parenthesis. And in the parenthesis, the first thing that you have to mention is the initialization, like the starting point of your loop. So if you want to print, for example, if you want to print numbers from 1 to 10, that means the starting point is 1. If you want to print numbers from, let's say, 5 to 50, then the starting point is 5. And then how are you going to mention the starting point? By taking a variable, right? So you have to declare a variable. I'm going to declare a variable, let I, and then is equals to 1. So this is my starting point. If it is 5, then I'll just simply write 5 over here, right? So for now, I'll just take it as 1. And then you have to mention the condition, okay? Because this loop is going to check the condition every time it is going to execute your code, and it will run till your condition is true. The moment your condition becomes false, the loop will exit. So let us write a condition here. I'll type in something like this. So I want to run this loop till I is less than or equals to 10. If it is not, the moment this condition becomes false, I want to exit the loop, okay? So this is the condition. Now we have to mention increment or decrement. So here I'll just type in something like this. So every time I want to increment the value of I by 1, okay? Now inside this, I'm going to log the value of I, okay? Now what will happen here? Initially the value of I is 1, and then it will check the condition. 1 is less than or equals to 10. That means it's true. Then it will go inside and it will print I. What is the value of I? 1. And it will print it. After that, it is going to increment the value of I. So it was 1. Now 1 plus 1 becomes 2. Then it will check the condition. Is 2 less than or equals to 10? True. Then it will go inside and print 2. Now the value of I is 2, right? Then it is going to go over here and then again do an increment. So 2 plus 1, 3. So is 3 less than or equals to 10? True. Then it will again go inside, print 3. Then again the same thing will happen. 3 plus 1, 4. And then it will keep on doing this till this condition is true. So when it becomes 10, right? Then it will check, is 10 less than or equals to 10? Which is true, right? Because 10 is equals to 10. So it will print 10. But then it will again increment, right? 10 plus 1, 11. Now this time 11 is 11 less than or equals to 10? False, right? Because 11 is greater than 10. Correct? So the moment it becomes false, it will exit. So it should print the numbers from 1 to 10. So let's just save this and check it out. So you see it printed from 1 to 10. Now here, rather than writing I is equals to I plus 1, we can just do this plus plus, okay? It is the same thing. See, the result is still the same. And similarly, let's say if you want to jump the numbers, right? So here, let's say I don't want to just increment by 1. If I want to increment by 2, then I can do that as well. So I is equals to I plus, let's say 2. And then I'll just save this. So you see, it will jump the numbers by 2. So basically, depending on your condition, right? Whatever logic that you're writing and whatever you need, you can amend the condition, the initial point, and also the increment and decrement here. So similarly, the way we are discussing increment, right? In a very similar way, the decrement also works. So let's say if I want to print numbers from 10 to 1, then my starting point is 10, right? So I'll change the starting point first. It is 10. And then let's remove this. And in the condition, I have to keep this check. I is greater than or equals to 1. And then here I will decrement this. So minus minus. So every time it is going to decrement by 1. Okay. So first of all, what it will do, I is equals to 10. So is 10 greater than or equal to 1? True. Then it is going to print 10. And then it will decrement. So it will become 9. So is 9 greater than or equals to 1? True. Then it will print 9. Then it will again decrement. So when it reaches 1, so 1 is greater than or equals to 1? True. Then it will print 1. But the moment it becomes 0, the condition becomes false. So it will exit. Now let's just save this. So you see it printed the numbers from 10 to 1. Okay, so this is the basic use of for loop. Now the same thing can be used with objects or arrays. Okay, so let me take some examples. So I'll just take an example of arrays over here. So let's just take an array. Let fruits. I'll take banana, apple, orange. And what if I log the value of fruits? If I save this, you see this array, but the way, if you observe the way it got printed, right? It got printed like this. So it still shows that okay, it is an array, correct? But if you want to take out the values out of this, right, if you want to print all the values one by one separately, then what will you do? You can run a loop over this, right? And let me show you how you can. So first of all, let's just check the length of the fruits, right? Because as we discussed in the for loop, you need to know the exit point and what will be the exit point in this condition. There we knew that okay, we had to print numbers from 1 to 10, so we knew the exit point, right? Here the exit point would be the length, right? So the moment array ends, the loop should also exit. So that is why let's just check the length, although we can see the length over here, but let me just log the length for you. So fruits dot length, which is 3, correct? Now let's just write a loop for this. So for, so here what I'll do is I'll first declare a variable, let I is equals to 0. And the reason I'm declaring it from 0 is because we access array elements by index, right? And the index starts with 0. So this is, if you see the index, right, this is where we have to run the loop, correct? So we'll start with 0, okay? And then we have to mention the condition, and I is less than or equals to length, fruits dot length, right? Fruits dot length, and then I plus plus. And then how are you going to log it? How do you access the elements of an array? So fruits, the name of the array, and then what do we have to pass here? We have to pass the index, right? Fruits of 0 is banana, fruits of 1 is apple, fruits of 2 is orange. And where we have these values 0, 1, 2 in the loop, right? So when it is 0, it will take 0, and when it is 1, it will take 1, when it is 2, it will take 2, correct? If I save this, you see banana, apple, and orange. The indexing is from 0 to 2, right? So you don't need to include is equals to here. So if I save this now, you see that undefined is gone. And we can similarly do the same thing for with numbers. Now let me take another array. I'll take few numbers here, 2, 5, 5, 7, and 10. So let me first log this array and show you. So it comes something like this. Now if I want to take all the elements outside of the array, I will write the loop, right? So for, I'll declare the variable let I is equals to, and the index, right? Index start with 0, and then I less than or just less than, right? Not equals to, because we are starting with 0 and it has to go till the length. So nums dot length, and then I plus plus. And here I'll simply log the value of nums and I'll pass the index value, and that's it, right? So it gave me 2, 5. It is showing me 2, but let's just change this so that, okay, so 2, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay. Now let's check the other loop, which is for in loop. So for in loop is generally used when we are dealing with objects. So I'll just go ahead and create an object. So let's student is equals to, this is how you create an object. I hope you remember this. So we'll give some properties, student name, then let's give age, then let's give city name. Now if I want to access the properties of this object, how can I access? I'll access something like, I'll write something like this. So student dot student name, correct? And then if I want to access another property, I have to write it again. I'll just type in student dot age, and similarly if I want to access the third property, I have to write it again, student dot city name, right? So rather than writing all of this one by one, I will use for in loop, and then we'll use the loop to access all the properties, as in all the keys and the values. Okay, so let's just remove this. So the syntax for in goes like this. So you need to type in for, and then you have to declare a variable. I'll take it as key, and then you have to type in, and then in where, right? In student. So this loop basically will take all the keys from the properties. Okay, so these are, write something like this, let key in student. Okay, this is something that you can give another name as well, but it will still have the keys, right, and not the values. Now we want to print keys as well as the values. So if I just want to print the keys, I can just log it, and I'll just print key, right? If I save this, you can see all the keys, right? Student name and age and city name, but we are not seeing the values. So how we can access the values? We can access the values by doing this. Okay, so we'll do it like this. Let's just separate it, and then in student, if I pass the key, I will get the value, right? That's how you access the values out of object. So here I will just pass the key. So here, and then let's just save this. So you see, we get the key and the value, the key and the value, the key and the value. Okay, so basically the for in loop will only run on the keys, but then using the key, you can access the value. Now let's go to the next one, which is for off. Now, if you remember in the for loop, we had to mention the exit point, right? The condition. So in for off, you don't need to mention the condition. And exactly like, how we did in for in, we also didn't mention the condition here, right? We just typed in key in and student, right? So we didn't have to mention the condition. So in for off also, you don't have to mention the condition. So let me just take an array first. Now, if I want to run a loop on this, I can either write the basic for loop or I can use for off. Okay. So for, and the syntax goes like this: for, of course, it will start with for, and then you have to declare a variable for, let's say, fruit, and then off, right? This is the syntax of what? Of fruits, correct? So this is your array. So of fruits, and then inside this, just log the values. Where do you have the values? Inside this, and then let's just save this. So we got the values, right? So this is one difference between this loop and then this loop. Okay, here we are not mentioning the conditions. We are just only giving that, okay, which is the array where I want to run the loop. Okay, so we don't have to give the condition that, okay, it has to run till the end of the length of the array. All right, let me take another example for this. So if I do this, let language, and here I'll type something as this JavaScript. And if I want to run a loop and I want to print each and every character one by one, what will I do? I'll write this loop. So for, and then let's just declare something, let char of, right? This is the syntax. And of what? Of this here. And then if I print this, I'll print this, correct? So it will take one character at a time and it is going to print it like this. So basically, if you have a very specific condition till where you want to run the loop, then you can use this one, okay, for loop. But if you don't have any specific condition and you have to run the loop over an array, you can just simply use for of loop. And if it's an object, then you can use for in loop, right? Because for in loop takes the key, and then using the key you can access the values of the object. So just remember this basic thing, and then you'll always be able to differentiate which one do you need to use. Now let's understand while and do while. So we use while and do while when we don't know the exit condition specifically. Okay, so whenever the exit condition could be dynamic, we use while and do while. That means we are not sure about, like, till what point of time the loop should be running. Although you will not see these two getting used a lot, but let's just understand what they are. Okay, so I'll take an example. So the syntax goes like this. So while, let me first take a variable. So let count is equals to 5, and then the syntax for while is while, I'll just mention count is greater than 0, and then here I'll just log something, log value of count, and then I also have to increment the value of. So what will happen here? So we have a variable count, the value is 5, so it will first check is count greater than 0. So 5 is greater than 0, so it will print 5. Okay, and then let's just, we have to decrement this. Okay, so now it will become 4, and then it will check 4 is greater than 0, true, then it will execute this, then it will become 3, 3 is greater than 0, and then 2, and then, like, when it comes to 0, then it will become false and the loop will exit. Now there is one very important thing here. If you are practicing, do not forget to type this. Okay, the increment decrement condition that we mentioned in the for loop, right? The same thing we have to mention here as well. So here the problem is that if you don't mention it, right, and if you, let's say if I remove this line and if I save this program, right, my system will crash because this will go into an infinite loop and then everything will get hanged. Okay, so I'll just save this and then we'll check the value. So 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so do not forget to mention the condition. So this is the syntax of the while loop, and here now let's check do while. So the difference between while and do while is that do while loop always runs at least one even if the condition is false. Okay, so you'll understand that, but let's just take an example first. So I'll take a number, let number is equals to, let's say, 3, and then the syntax goes like this: do, and then under this I will log the value of number, and then after that I will, let's make it actually 0, and then here we'll do plus plus. Okay, so we are incrementing it, and after that we have to write the condition here while number is greater than 3. When the execution will start, it will first print the number. Okay, so the one, it is getting executed once for sure. Okay, because we are checking the condition after at least once one execution. But let's say even if the condition is false here, right, even at the first time, this line is anyway going to get executed because we are checking the condition later on. So I think these three are the important ones. These two are not, but it is necessary to understand the concept that, like, what it does and when and where to use it. But I think mostly you will see these three getting used. So I think just practice these three and you should be good. So that's all in loops, and I'll see you in the next one.